The February 24th, 2015 meeting of the Transportation Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Chairwoman Boyce?
Here.
Mr. Colby?
Here.
Mrs. Draw? Here. Mr. Gamble?
Here.
Mr. Lightfoot? Here. Mrs. Stick? Here. Ms. Taylor? Here.
Is there anybody signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
I see no other people, so we'll close the public forum. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the January 27, 2015 meeting. The next item on the agenda. So, if they don't stand approved until the clerk is notified, unless the change is at the end of the day. Next item on the agenda is new business.
Referral 15-0072.
Moved by Legislator Stick, seconded by Legislator Draw. Questions? Mr. Colby.
Through you, Madam Chair, how do you guys select the where they go? Is there a study being done? Because obviously you want to put it where the higher traffic is, or I mean, do you just do it by traffic of pedestrians, or do you do it by other methods?
Through the chair, there was a study done back in 2011 that identified, we worked with the ABVI, Association of Blind and Visually Impaired, as well as some other groups, and using the difficulty in crossing in terms of the confusion, as well as where they feel they may have blind and visually impaired individuals that would utilize it, as well as near. Also got points. There was a whole pointing system. Other things that got points were near municipal offices and things that people might be trying to get to. Put all that in, and then we had some high priority, medium priority, and low priority of all the different locations, and we kind of prioritized them. And we would end up doing, I think, with this project, all of the high and many of the medium.
So, through you, Madam Chair, the ones that were funded in 2014, that this is increasing, were already all completed? Or is there still some of them not been completed from the original funding?
Through the chair, we had some, we've been doing some locations with capital fund that the county had. Now we've put in, and this is, we're getting federal money to supplement county dollars to do many more. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Further questions? Mrs. Stick.
Tell me how many total APSDs will be installed?
Through the chair, we're planning on, with this project, to do approximately 208 intersections.
Okay.
Crosswalks, 208 crosswalks, excuse me, I should say, not intersection, 208 crosswalks.
Okay. And through the chair, when is installation scheduled to begin?
Through the chair, we're looking to begin in the spring of next year.
Mr. Lightfoot, did you have a question?
If it comes.
Sir.
One of the questions that I have through you, Madam Chair, in regarding to this increase of funding, I did hear that there's a total amount being installed. I'm assuming that's an increase of what was already kind of done through the study of ABVI and some other groups to start in 2016. So this federal funding that is coming to us in the form of a grant, why are we working to increase the amount to be installed by the bonding of dollars, of $265,000 through you, Madam Chair? In other words, why are we just keeping the project the same and then taking the grant, which will reduce the amount of money that we spend out of our capital budget funds? Through you, Madam Chair.
Through the chair, the existing capital fund of the 2015 capital budget of the $575,000, that is not just for accessible pedestrian signal devices. That is for putting in new signals. It's where we do loops with that. We do by cabinets, signal cabinets, by poles. So no, that is this is money part of the $575,000 we set aside. Approximately $30,000 a year we had planned on to spend for this program, and so the $575,000 will, and as well as past capital funds, will cover our share of it, which is about $85,000, and then the $256,000 is an addition, is federal money.
So thank you for that. So through you, Madam Chair, why is there a need to bond or borrow dollars if this grant is coming? Through you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, the reason we are requesting to increase the capital fund is to comply with local finance law. In order to spend dollars on a capital project, we either need authorization or we need an appropriation. The operating budget does not include appropriations for this type of expenditure, so our alternative is to get authorization. There will not actually be bonding for this.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I had one question myself. Do you have a list of where these devices are going to be installed?
Through the chair, I do have a list that I can give to Bill if the different people want it. And I would just say that it may not go at every one of these locations because we need to look. Besides, as I said, the study went through and identified what were the higher priority ones based on what our thoughts were. But these aren't without their negatives. And one of the negatives are that you have a beeping sound to let you know where that device is so they could push the button. And it's a very low level sound, but in a residential neighborhood or near homes or near apartments and stuff very close, they may hear that, and we've heard some people have been bothered by that at night. Then there is, once you press the button, then you would also hear something, like you might have heard chirping around at times when you be at signals. That's the type of thing you'd hear. But the blind and visually impaired would both feel something to tell you when it's to go across, as well as they could possibly hear some chirping. I'll give this list, but it might not be exactly these locations, but this is our list we're starting at.
Okay. To follow up on that question, okay, so you said that might be not the complete list, or it may not be the final list. So based on possibly requests or conversations that have been had in the community, is it possible that those can be considered as well?
Oh, through the chair, without question. In fact, that's how until we did this 2011 study, that's how we did it. We would get a call from usually an individual or a blind and visually impaired individual, and they would say that they needed it. We would end up working with ABVI and look to see if they agreed, and everybody agree that you need to have this extra device there for them. So yeah, we work very closely with them, and they know they got this whole list. They were very involved with the whole project.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Gamble.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question, you said that you're going to provide us with a list through the chair. You said they were going to provide us with a list, but you said there was going to be about 280 crosswalks?
Through the chair, 208 crosswalks.
208?
Yes.
And so the list will contain about approximately 208 or thereabouts?
Yes.
Or
yes. What we will show is through the chair what intersection and how many crosswalks at that intersection we're considering to be done.
And through the chair, out of the 208, you said some of them may not be considered. Has that been calculated in the projections that we're asking for the appropriations or the bonding or this situation? Because if we're not going to use the 208, how did they come up with the figure?
Well, no, through the chair, we looked at to see we got the figure based on, we wanted to do the high priority and the medium, and that was the 208 crosswalks, about 113 intersections. And we will, if we end up not doing it at one of these crosswalks for whatever reason, or one of these intersections, we would look to do it at another location.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Anything further? All in favor? Any opposed? Next item on the agenda.
Referral 15-0073.
Moved by legislator Draw, second by Mr. Colby. Any questions on this? Mr. Lightfoot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration, one of the things that kind of came up that I have a concern, and I'll put it in the form of a question, is one of the jobs that who we're attempting to award this contract to has, I believe, maybe done a change order on one of their last jobs or so, in the tune of $1.7 million. And I don't know how that came about. That is a considerable change in the amount that was originally approved. And so I would like to know, through you, Madam Chair, what is the administration doing to protect the people's finance against these change orders, or what are we doing to put into place that this particular contractor is?
To do with this referral.
I was getting ready to finish that question.
Right, I'll hear Mr. Lightfoot's question, but I'm going to consider Ms. Draw's point of order.
Yes, I understand. So what are we doing through you, Madam Chair, for the administration to assure that that this contractors are not way underbidding the jobs just to win the job?
Right. So before we have an answer, so I want to understand this a little bit better. So you're saying it has nothing to do with the referral we're considering, but something that a company that's bid on this.
What are we doing
prior to this?
What I'm asking is, what are we doing as administration to make sure that companies are not underbidding jobs just to win their contract?
No, this is not germane to this particular referral. If you'd like to ask a question with regards to that at a later time, or put it in writing, then I think that's appropriate. But right now, Mr. Lightfoot, I think we need to stick to this.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any further questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Next item on the agenda.
Referral 15-0074. Authorize.
Moved by legislator Colby, seconded by legislator Taylor. Any question with regards to this item on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Item passes.
Referral 0077.
Moved by Mrs. Taylor, legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Stick. Any questions with regards to this item on the agenda? Mr. Gamble.
Thank you. The property, why is it necessary to purchase this property?
Through the chair?
Through the chair. Excuse me,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Rice.
Through the chair, there's the project that we're going to be doing this year, North Grease Road. It'll be going out to bid in the near future, the rehabilitation of that. We do not have an existing easement to be able to go in and do the work that we need to do. It was never filed previously, so that's what we're doing now. We're getting that easement from the original developer when they built the property. It just never got filed. We're just, so it's for, and that's a typical amount of when you get something donated.
Okay.
When you get something donated, and it's only to go in and be able to do road work at that point, road work or something to do with cleaning the stream or whatever in that location. And that's, you got to always put something of value down so they do $1.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. I did just further, we do have somebody from the law department here, and that's a legal binding agreement then with the homeowner.
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Item passes. Other matters at this time? Seeing none, we'll adjourn until February 20, or I always do this. I see that first. The Transportation Committee for the February 24th is now stands adjourned, and the next Transportation Committee will be on March 24th at 5 p.m. Thank you.